Hello friends, this is Grapha, and today what we are going to do is we're going to be tackling the Wither Messenger. So the Chimera, well, you can't really control the team, so it's just really which team that you bring in, and the Chimera doesn't really change. But the Wither Messenger, it kind of gets really harder, and we have to climb all the way to level 150. So for now, this is what I'm going to be tackling, and you can only get up to level 60 for the first week. But I've seen a lot of you guys that have been struggling on like the earlier levels, like 35, 45. Personally, I got stuck here at 45 with my like speed cleave team. This is the team where I couldn't just like brute force it anymore. So I decided, okay, I couldn't brute force it anymore. This is the stage where I'm going to be testing and trying out some different teams just to see how difficult it really is. And boy, was it difficult. So for this like sort of experiment, I'm going to say that I did not upgrade the advanced strategy all that much, and this is to simulate what most of your relics would be like, because as a pretty late game player, my relics are pretty jacked. If you guys have relics that are on my level or better than mine, then you have no problem clearing this content. But for the people who are lower, who have worse relics than me, this is just to simulate that, okay, we should have around the same relics by this day if you guys have been upgrading the advanced strategy. So that is like the scope of the experiment. So with regards to the actual team comp, this was the most free to play I could get. And let me just, fix my relics real quick. Okay, so we're back, and this is the most free to play team comp that I could think of. Now, when it comes to the bosses, the higher level you up, the higher level that you go, the harder it is to kill the boss and stay alive. There are lots of things that you have to balance when it comes to this team comp, and I've written them down. Basically, the most important things for this boss is you have to have speed down, you have to have attack down, you have to have speed up on your team, and you want to have either buff blocker or buff stealing. The rest are just going to be cherries on top. You want to have like some form of survivability, some form of healing, and all that jazz. So with regards to this team comp, I'm just gonna show it to you and pilot it for now. But this could barely win already. So this just goes to show you how difficult this boss is. And I will say that if you do not upgrade your stats, you really just want to have better stats and upgrade in the advanced strategy. But for now, yeah, this is where we are at. So when it comes to this boss, I have a few things here, right? So Gabrielle's, I think, absolutely necessary. She provides the attack down and the defense up and the immunity. You don't actually need immunity. The defense down and the attack down for your team, which is really, really important. And she has the defense down, the defense up on your team. So Gabrielle just gives your team a lot of survivability. I tried using like some other units that would give shields or just give like health or over health. It didn't really work. So I really required a Gabrielle. So Gabrielle here is really, really important, and she provides the multi-hits, which will do extra damage on the boss because he takes extra 5,000 true damage per multi-hit, so that's really important. The next one that I think is really, really important is either going to be Yunchuan or Mateo. So if you have either Yunchuan or Mateo, I think that's going to be fine. I think Yunchuan's the best, especially if you have him at R2, because he provides the speed down and the speed up in just one kit. So that's really, really important because this boss, he pushes his own AP by 10% every turn that you guys take. So you still want to slow him down, and you still want to take as many turns as possible. You don't want the boss to outspeed you because he's really, really fast, especially if he gains the speed up buff. He gets really, really fast. So having this speed down and speed up in one skill is obviously really great. And then with his miss rate up, it just lets your team survive longer. And with the his R2, he will steal the buffs, and that's really, really important because when this skill comes around, you really want to be able to steal the buffs. Next up is Camille. So Camille is a free-to-play Esper. Technically, you have to fuse for her, but she's technically free-to-play, and I'm not using her at like R6 or anything like that, so this is fine. And what's the most important thing about her is her synergy with Yunchuan. So well, it's not the most important thing. The second most important thing about her is her synergy with Yunchuan. If you guys didn't know, Yunchuan will actually follow up again at R2 if the enemy has bleed, because the bleed damage that the boss takes during his turn counts as an attack. So Yunchuan will follow up immediately and apply third eye seal right away. So it means that you don't have to make your Yunchuan super duper fast. It means that the bleed is really, really nice. And the most important thing about Camille is this debuff extension, which is really, really good because the boss is really, really fast and he will remove your debuffs just by lapping. So you want to have these debuff extensions, that way, bam, they're all increased and you will be able to keep him debuffed longer. So that's really nice. And I do have her on the Astral set because it's really, really good. And lastly, here are my supports. So Ptah is actually really, really good at this. Ptah. I know it's Ta, but I'm just gonna say Ptah because Ta just sounds so basic. Or I don't know, it's just like it's one syllable. It sounds really bad. But anyway, Ptah is really, really good here because she has the defense down and the call of random teammate, which is really nice. But she has this shield, and this shield is really, really good. I keep on saying really, but it's really nice because from what I've tested, one healer is not enough. 2 healers are redundant because they don't overheal, and the boss can nuke. So it's really nice to have a shield and a healer, as well as all these debuffs. And Ptah has one of the only crit rate downs in the game. You could use Leora, but don't use Leora. So crit rate down, really, really nice. It just gives your team so much survivability. So yeah, I'm just gonna use the crit rate down here. And when you're using this team comp, you want to manual it as much as possible. It's really hard to auto because there are going to be times when you don't really want to use the shield or you want to save the shield. Like for example, now the boss has attack up, so I'm probably going to want to use the shield now. I didn't want to use it previously because I wasn't really scared for my life. Now I might be scared for my life. Well, we sold the attack on, but you know what? Let's just do it because the crit rate's already applied anyway. So yeah, you want to really pilot this on manual. And lastly, I do use Sally here. Sally is just another free-to-play option that I chose because most of the new players will get her from the Temporal Tower. And from my testing, I tried using Meredith for the multi-hits on the S1, similar to Sally. But I just found that Meredith just isn't able to keep up on the healing department. So you probably want a stronger healer. So you could go with Clara, you can go with, I think, Hengye. Hengye would work pretty fine. But I just use Sally at R0, she's at R1, doesn't really matter. So that, you know, it's just a free-to-play option that everyone would have. And it just goes to show you that you can clear this even though Sally will not be taking any turns. But, you know, that's just due in part to my stats. But it is what it is. You guys can use the advanced strategy and you would have similar stats to me. So yeah, I'm gonna run this on auto, or I'm just gonna run this right now and show you guys the VOD, I guess, unless I have anything else to say, which I don't think I do. So I will just continue this on muted, I guess. Oh, so the boss got locked down right now. That's really good because the lockdown, as I've explained before, it's kind of similar to like, they will just stay there until like, okay, yeah. So it's kind of like, for example, there's this amount of space in between their turns. So it's gonna move like just a bit only. That's how I understand it. So it's only gonna move slightly, yeah. And then there's also just a little bit of space there, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so that's how I understand it to work. By the way, another really important thing here is that you want to have Camille because she's one of the only attack leads that will work, that have useful synergy against this boss. So the attack lead is really, really nice because you kind of run out of turns if you're not careful. So that's another important thing. So yeah, aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully my team doesn't die here. Okay, so my Yunchuan died here, so we might run into some problems. But it's probably fine. Let's shield up here. Okay, so I failed this run because I was not paying attention. I should have... earlier I should have healed with my Sally. and then use my S3 in order to damage reduction. That was a mistake on my part, that was a blunder. But as you can see, I would be able to kill this boss if I was just paying a bit more attention. But yeah, that's pretty much it with regards to that. Okay, I'm just gonna leave because I'm gonna die. So no, I'm dead. Okay, so that's like the showcase of like a free-to-play team, just to give you guys an idea. But ideally, you would have like Ahmed here instead. I think you could replace Ptah with either like, you could replace, there's no attack up on this team, so if survivability is not your problem and you just want to kill harder, you could probably use like Alice or something, or another multi-hitter, or someone that gives your team attack up. That way they would attack more often. You could also use someone like Unas if you have them, probably not. In terms of the other imprisoners, I did try deeply to use like Elaine. I tried to use Li Guang. It just didn't really work out. It was really difficult to actually get the damage in. Camille is like, this 40% attack lead is like absolutely a godsend. But yeah, for now I'm just going to upgrade and just show you guys a run wherein I have maxed out stats and just see how that goes. Okay, so I have upgraded a bunch and you will see, bam, 45% HP, 60% defense, and 60% attack. Now let's go into the boss and see how this does. And there you go. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the Wither Messenger. I'm pretty sure this team can get up all the way to level 60. You guys can use like other units. I tried using like Gaius, I tried using like Sally, Meredith, Louis. There were like lots of things that I tried, and overall it was just like pretty difficult to upkeep with like the turn limit and whatever. So I will say, just at closing, the most important things, let me just like write that down real quick. Here are my notes, right? You guys can see my notes, my lovely notes. Yeah, okay. So speed up, speed down, buff blocker, attack lead. Yeah, I think that's like the most important things. Maybe like attack up if you're having trouble. Depends, right? If you're dying too much, you need a bit more survivability. So you need like damage reduction or like extra shield over health or more attack down on the boss or whatever. But if you're struggling to kill, you need the attack lead, you need the attack up on your team, you need a way to make your DPS go more or something like that. So it just depends on what your problem is. But in terms of like the actual content itself, these are the 5 most important things that you need to work on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Very scuffed out of me. Just the usual though. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Comment down below whatever else that you are in need of in this content, because I think I'm liking this content a lot. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Get out of here.